Hello, friends. It is your buddy Keith, and we are live here again in the control room at the one and only world famous Essex Recording Studios, just outside London in Southend-on-Sea, England, baby. And I've got a very special video for you guys today. I'm showing you our collection of awesome guitars, amps, and recording gear owned by The Darkness and used to perform around the world, record on their albums, and you might have even seen one of these in one of their most famous music videos ever. So, if you're new to the channel, welcome, guys. Welcome aboard. You've got 10,000 friends here on the channel waiting to hang out with you and shoot the breeze in the comment section. So make sure you click like and click subscribe. Costs you nothing. And come join the family. Yes, I'm going to show you the coolest guitars I get from all around the world each and every day. You're going to see up-close details. We talk about them, and people way smarter than me in the comment section also talk about them, and we all learn something. Yes. So, what we have here is a group of instruments that I got from my good buddy Dan Hawkins of The Darkness fame. These guitars, this one right here is a 1960 60th anniversary Les Paul version 2, the orange lemon fade. This was used to record all the guitars on their latest album, Motorheart. Next to it is a crazy custom guitar. This is a Fender, this is a very rare model, very rare limited edition Fender Troublemaker. All right. This thing has a crazy story behind it. It's obviously Fender taking aim at Gibson and creating a Les Paul in the shape of a Telecaster. It's mahogany body, mahogany neck. We're going to chat about that. This Wizard amp is the Darkness's 100-watt Wizard. You can see all of the original presets, all the settings are all marked there. We've also got lurking down there Diesel. We use this all of the time, the VH4. That's theirs. Some of this outboard gear here, like the Fatso Jr. we got from them. That was used on all their records. The Mohawk compressor there. That was used. These Trident Studio, legendary studio. I mean, David Bowie, Eric Clapton, I think Queen, loads of people record at Trident. Those channel strips. These are Neve, I think 1057 preamps. These things are crazy rare and some of the most expensive and rarest Neve mic pre's like in the universe. I mean, the list goes on and on. This retro EQ, they've, you know, the LA2A we got from them. There's so much gear that that they've hooked us up with, and we really appreciate the support from Dan and the band, because it's done a lot to elevate the quality of what we've got here and really help us elevate the sound of all of the independent musicians we work with. Going back to the instruments, we've got this Fender Mustang short scale bass. Guys, I was just hanging out with the artist rep for Fender in London, and everyone is raving about these. This was used to record some bass parts on the Motorheart album, and also I think they used it on tour, Dan was saying, right before lockdown. And then this is the bad boy. This thing is awesome. This is Dan's Gibson SJ-200. You'll definitely recognize this from their famous Christmas time music video. Dan's playing this guitar in it, and this has been used throughout his entire career. It's a 2002 model, top spec. It's loaded with a Fishman pickup there, and just absolutely incredible history. You can see we've got some flight cases. This is the flight case for the SJ-200, and it was even used during his Stone Gods time period, whatever you want to call it. You know, the interim between the Darkness breaking up and then coming back together again. So literally used throughout his entire career. This DW Fern compressor, man, we use this on everything. James is in love with this. This came from them. This was used on their records. The list just goes on and on. Oh, the Roland Chorus Echo. This is like the big Mac Daddy tape Echo. We've just been using that on our good friend Rob Jarvis's new record. So there's a lot of stuff here in the studio, but I wanted to share it all with you because it's very exciting, really cool history, and yeah, it's just fun to see what the pros play with and use to make the music that we all love. So I'll start with this one. This is the 1960 60th anniversary. You can see it right here on the back. Les Paul Custom. These were made in very, very limited quantity, and they made 3 versions of them because 1960 was the last year of the burst for the Les Paul standards. Now, in my opinion, this one's the best, not only because it was Dan's, but I just love the color on it and the neck profile. So in 1960, you had 3 versions. You had a version 1, a version 2, and a version 3. And that just correlates with the first part of the year. So the earliest builds for Les Pauls in 1960 had the same spec, profile, everything as a 1959 Les Paul. So those share all the same features. The 1960 version 2 gets a brighter color. This is the orange lemon fade. And you get these reflective tops on the knobs there. One of them's come off, actually, while Dan had it. Easy enough to source. And then the version 3, and this one has the thinner neck profile. And then the version 3 has an even thinner neck profile, and the edge of the burst gets a bit wider. I was watching the video of Gibson over at NAMM 2020, and that's how they break it down. So this is one of the version 2s. We know this by the serial number and also by the thinner edge of the burst. I really, really like this one. I think Orange Lemon Fade is the coolest. And not all tops are equal. This one just has incredible, like, flaming, quilting, just figuring all around to it. Look at that. And this was used to record everything you've heard on the new Motorheart album that just came out. So that's really cool. Head on over to Spotify or YouTube, and you can check out The Darkness, their new album. And we actually mixed the bonus track on that. The Age of Darkness, which Dan sings on. So cool. That was a real pleasure getting to mix that on this SSL Duality here. James did a bang-up job on that. He killed it. And that brings us to this bad boy. This one I'm really excited to show you because I've never seen a guitar like this before. This is so crazy. This is essentially a Fender Les Paul. That's really what it is. So Fender Telecaster Deluxe. You can see the mahogany headstock there. This thing, already on its own, was a very rare limited edition model. You can see it's got the limited edition serial number. Look at that. When's the last time you saw a Telecaster with a mahogany neck? That is so insane. Or a mahogany body. And look at how they even do the old, like, vintage Les Paul control cavity. Not only shape and style, but color, too. This thing is nuts. Bridge, stop tailpiece, all Gibson style. The 4-knob control layout, Gibson style. And then you've got your pickup selector toggle switch up here. Now, already a rare limited edition American guitar that Dan ordered. It then went to his buddy, whose name, of course, escapes me when it's time to do the video for this. But if you just Google it, it's the guy that does, many of you will already know who it is. It's the guy who does Brian May's guitar. They're 10,000 pounds, so it's like $14,000. He's the creator and the authorized guy who makes Brian May's Red Specials, if you want to buy one. And he's super famous guitar luthier and customizer to the stars. He's got normal models that start at about 4,000 pounds, which is close to about $6,000. And yeah, like a lot of his builds are around 10 grand, $14,000 in today's currency market. Yeah, so he took this guitar and then just went to town on it. So as you can see, the 4 knobs have been sealed up and it looks great. The side has been shaved. A lot of people don't realize this, especially if you don't tour and play a lot for hours and hours and hours. But the edges on guitars can really cut into your wrist. You'll notice Dan plays with a wristband. That's why a lot of players play with a wristband. And having that shaved angle can really just really help with comfortability, depending on how you play, you know. And he wanted it shaved, so he got it. Now, the pickup is really cool. This is a British custom shop. You know, I don't know if we can still call them a boutique because they're so popular now, but bare knuckle. This is a bare knuckle nail bomb with custom white covers. And then this is what they call the radiator cover on top of that. So it's got the chrome radiator. This thing just looks awesome. And the second pickup was removed. A poker chip was added. Not on. So cool. Custom pick guard to then cover the spot where the where the neck pickup was. You've just got one knob. It's all you need for volume. And there's even been weight added, according to the guy. I'm assuming that means they filled it. They filled the cavity with some weight just to give it the proper heft of a Les Paul and to give it just the perfect weight and balance. And my God, this thing has it. Look at that beautiful, man, this body here just looks amazing. It's hard to, so much light and reflection here, but the mahogany on this is out of this world. Looks like it's a two-piece body. Yeah, I think I'm going to struggle to show you all of the grain pattern here, but you get a sense of what it's like. In person, it's much more impressive. I'm trying to mess with the lighting so you can see it better, but I don't think we're going to be able to get a good angle with all these bright lights and neons. It's all right, though. We'll get some pictures of this up soon enough. But yeah, this is a one of one. There's nothing else like it. The guy that did all this custom work here in the UK, I mean, he charges a gazillion dollars to do this stuff, and he doesn't do it for just anybody. And man, this just came out so good. If you've ever wanted a Fender Les Paul, something made for a real rock star, a world-class instrument, this is it. There's nothing else on the planet like this. Man, so cool. So then that brings us to our Mustang bass. Everybody is raving about these. They're not expensive. They're super comfortable to play. They're made in Mexico. And you know what? If they're good enough for the darkness, they're good enough for me. The neck profile, very comfortable. They're lightweight. You've got your PJ pickup pattern. So you got precision pickups. You got a jazz bass pickup. It's real simple. It's got everything you could possibly need. And like I said, I was talking to the head of artist relations in London about these because he plays one and he swears by it. He loves it. Every artist I've had come in the studio has fallen in love with it and has said like they have to have one. So zero bad press, bad feedback, other than like maybe you're not a fan of the Mustang shape. I get that. It's not for everybody. But for functionality and practicality, you know, this is good enough to go on the record for the darkness, good enough for touring duties, then there you go. It's good enough for you and I, my friend. That is their Fender Mustang bass. And you can see a video, actually. It's a video of me picking it up over at Dan's place and putting it in the Studio Bentley and driving it back over here not too long ago. And that brings us to what's probably the most historically significant darkness guitar out of the collection, because a few of these are newer and have been used on the last record and on recent tours, but this has been used throughout the entire career. It's got a very distinctive truss rod cover too, and you can see that it really pops on the Christmas time music video. But these are our studio's favorite acoustics, the SJ-200. You've got beautiful flaming and figuring along the back, the sides, the neck. And this being a 2002 model, you know, people have their favorite eras. This is an era that's generally preferred as far as Gibson history goes. I'm trying to get the label to come into focus here, but my phone is not wanting to cooperate. Let's see if maybe there we go. Yep, so you can see the serial number there, 01442027. Bozeman, Montana. And I think this is before they started labeling them as standards and studios. These were all, I think, essentially custom shop. I don't know, I guess this was what, the art and historic era? Some of you Gibson brainiacs can chime in on the comment section and let us know exactly what is what. But man, look at that bridge. The handlebar mustache bridge is huge. I mean, look at the size of my hand. And you've got the 2 rows of mother of pearl. It's all rosewood. And I will say this, the neck, to me, the fretboard looks like Brazilian rosewood. Now, I'm not sure, but just the darkness and the texture and some of what I've seen going on, could be wrong here. The inlays really pop. Let me adjust the lighting here so you can see. Yeah, they look magnificent. Wish I can lock the lighting. There we go. Now you can see how well those inlays really shine. And you've got mother of pearl Gibson logo and the little crown guy there. All right. Sitka spruce top. That's nicely figured. There's crazing in the lacquer throughout because this has been a guitar that's been, toured by a rocker around the world. Yeah, just awesome. I don't know if you can see this crazing. Yeah, you can kind of see it here. Let's see if we get it into, see all these marks. They kind of come all the way down, and it just depends on the angle that you look at, but it's kind of throughout the guitar. I love how they just flame everything on this model. Look at that back. That is stunning. But yeah, I mean, this is the acoustic sound of the Darkness. If you heard anything acoustic from them, this is what it was done on. And the fact that it's in one of their, I'd say arguably their second most famous song. I don't know internationally how much, but Christmas songs here in the UK are a huge deal. And their Christmas song is amongst the most famous of the past, 3 decades. If you're to pick, the most famous songs, not only made in the UK for Christmas, but just Christmas songs in general, they make the list. Yeah, I mean, it gets played on the radio every year. I'm sure they get a nice fat check. Good for them. Yeah, this is it. And then go check out the Christmas time video. I think it's been re-uploaded recently because I just saw it, and it's much older than a year old. But I think the most recent upload's from 11 months ago, and it's got around 1 million views. But it's it's really cool to see this is the guitar. It's got the Fishman added to it now, but yeah, very awesome. Very cool bit of rock history there. And I'll also show you, so I've showed you some of the recording gear that we've gotten from them, from Dan. Let's go have a little walk outside, and I'm going to show you a really cool framed piece that Dan gave us. And then his other Wizard amp happens to be out here too. Walk past Mr. Zach Wild's guitar there. So we saw the 100-watt Wizard. This is Dan's 50-watt right here. Cool. And then over by our Gibson Les Paul coffee table and our Timothy Alton couch. If you want to have a heart attack, go over to the Timothy Alton website and look up how much the Union Jacked couch goes for. But there is their artwork from their second album, all signed by the band. Really nice gift. They didn't have to do that. If you check our Instagram, Dan was just over here on Sunday, right before they performed over at Cliff's Pavilion, right next door to the studio. And we even uploaded a cheeky video for you guys of us having had way too many beers and partying it out over there at the show to, I believe in a thing called love. So you can even see a very poor video recording of that on my cell phone. But we had a great time, and it's one of like life's special moments that's exactly why we do all of this. And yeah, very just gratifying and rewarding for our whole team and family here at the studio. And we're just really glad we can share this stuff with you guys. Yeah. Well, I'm going to wrap this up. It's been 20 minutes. You've been hearing me drone on and on about the darkness, guitars, recording stuff. I'm sure you've got dinner you want to get to, stuff you want to go see on Netflix, so I'll let you all go. But if you have been sticking around this whole 20 minutes, thanks a lot. Really appreciate you guys supporting the studio, supporting the YouTube channel. Thanks for clicking like and subscribing. And if you are wondering what's going to happen with these guitars, well, I can answer that for you. They're all available for you to use here at the studio. You know, we are now forming the next chapter in the book of life for these instruments. And they will also be eventually going up for sale to help fund the future growth and expansion of this studio. We, if you've been following the channel and following our story for the past 4.5 years we've been doing this, you'll have seen that there's been a tremendous trajectory of growth. And that's all across the board, from the equipment, from moving out of a Victorian house and into taking over a radio station that you see here, from working with unknown independent artists coming out of local pubs to, well, now we're mixing, you know, on the Darkness's latest album. We've got the X Factor winners coming through here. We got a lot of exciting stuff that's happening, and all of you guys are part of that journey. These instruments, all of this stuff is part of that journey, and the sales that we do help help fund that journey, and we're taking everybody along for the ride. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with us, sticking around, and I can't wait to show you just everything else that happens coming up here in 2022. We're weeks away from the new year, and I think it's going to be a really big one for us, for the artists we work with, and hopefully for you too. All right? So, I'm going to get going. Make sure you follow us on all the social media. It's at Essex Recording Studios, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. And as for me, I think I'm going to go have a beer. Catch you all later.